The air conditioning hums. A constant drone, the cool metal walls of the shuttle cabin press against my skin. The journey from the landing bay to the surface is routine, predictable. I do not think about it, I just do it. The atmosphere outside is thick and heavy, choking when it breaches the vesselar's seal. A hissing sound precedes the release of the exterior hatch. My suit inflates automatically, pushing against my back as it fills with breathable air. The mask over my face clamps down, sealing tightly around my neck and mouth. Outside, the molten rock flows like a slow river of fire. Orange and red waves surge across the surface, casting shadows that dance with each movement of the lava flow. My feet press against the metal grating of the landing platform. As I step out into the heat, the air is thick with sulfur and smoke, but my suit filters it all away. The landscape around me is barren and industrial. Smokestacks rise into the sky, belching black clouds that mix with the orange glow of the lava. Metal structures stretch across the rocky terrain, connecting the various mining sites and refining facilities. The air smells of burning metal and ozone from the energy fields that surround us, keeping the toxic gases at bay. My helmet's display flickers to life as I approach my workstation. A digital readout shows a list of tasks for the day: sample collection, equipment maintenance, transport coordination. I take up my tools and begin walking towards the nearest lava vent. The ground beneath me is uneven, but my boots are designed to grip every surface. The heat is oppressive, but my suit handles it well. It's designed to withstand this environment, protecting me from the worst of the conditions. As I move closer to the vent, the temperature rises sharply. My vision shifts as the helmet adjusts for the glare and heat distortion, filtering out the excess light so I can see clearly. I reach the vent, a massive opening in the rock face where lava flows freely. The sight is mesmerizing, but my mind does not dwell on it. I start collecting samples according to protocol, scoop up the molten material into containers designed for high temperatures and pressure. Each container is numbered and labeled as required by imperial standards. The rhythm of work settles over me. There's no need to think about what I aren't doing. It has all been drilled into my routine. My movements are precise, practiced. The lava pours steadily, a constant flow that does not change or cease. It's unremarkable, yet essential for the fuel and materials that power imperial industry. I move from one vent to another, collecting samples and ensuring everything is in order. There's no sense of urgency, just the steady pace dictated by the system. My only concern is efficiency and adherence to procedure. The world around me exists as a backdrop, a series of tasks to complete without question or thought beyond immediate action. The day progresses like this, each task blending into the next with mechanical precision. The environment remains constant, unchanging in its hostility and necessity. I am a cog in a vast machine, my role clear but not significant. My thoughts are focused solely on the work at hand, nothing more. I arrive at designated station and take my place. The console lights up as I log in with my credentials, fingers moving over the interface without hesitation. Data streams through the screen, organizing itself into manageable segments. According to protocol, I review the incoming reports and begin processing them methodically. Each task is a series of steps, each step executed precisely as outlined. There's no deviation from procedure. Adherence is non-negotiable. The system hums around me, indifferent yet functional. My role within it is clear and unambiguous: data entry, verification, analysis, report generation. I am the conduit through which information flows, transforming raw data into structured insights. Efficiency is paramount, and I maintain it by focusing solely on my assigned duties. There's no room for error or deviation. Every action serves a purpose defined by higher authority. My tools are extensions of myself. each instrument familiar from countless repetitions. The keyboard beneath my fingers guides the rhythm of my work, while the monitor displays information in an orderly fashion. I am neither proud nor ashamed of these tasks. They simply exist to be completed. The environment remains hostile, but is neutralized through routine. Danger and discomfort hold no sway over me. They are acknowledged but not engaged. The monotony of existence here is a constant companion, yet it does not provoke any internal conflict or desire for change. Identity is defined by the roles I fill, each task reinforcing my place within the system. There is no sense of self beyond these functions. I am what I do, and I do as instructed. The hum of the ventilation system is constant. It's a low rhythmic thrum that pulses through the metal walls and into my bones. At first it's noticeable, a persistent whisper in the background of my awareness, but as I move from one task to another, the sound begins to recede slightly. My fingers tap against the data pads with mechanical precision, each keystroke a familiar rhythm under the thrumming noise. The air is cool and dry, conditioned precisely for optimal efficiency. It carries no scent beyond the faint metallic tang of the machinery that surrounds me. I am alone in this space, but not lonely. The hum continues, unabated as I sort through files, scanning each document with meticulous care. My eyes trace lines of text without pause, and my mind processes information without resistance. The vent's rhythm is steady, a constant backdrop to the ceaseless cycle of work. It turns like the beating of an indifferent heart, maintaining order and function without emotion. As I move to another station, the hum feels less intrusive, more distant. It turns still there, but it no longer demands my attention. My focus shifts effortlessly from one task to the next, guided by protocol rather than personal will. The room is dimly lit with artificial overhead lights, casting a soft glow that illuminates everything just enough for clarity without excess. Shadows flicker subtly as I walk past them, their dance unnoticed and unremarked upon. The sound of my boots on the metal floor is sharp in contrast to the background hum, but even this fades into insignificance. The vent's thrum remains a steady presence, now more of an echo than a disruption. It turns like a quiet companion, ever present yet no longer a focal point. I'm immersed in routine, and each repetition makes it feel less substantial, less demanding of my conscious attention. The tasks flow one into the next without interruption or distraction. The monotony is unbroken by any variation, but this predictability itself becomes a comfort. While there is no need for thought beyond execution. There is no questioning, no desire to explore beyond the confines of assigned duties. Each moment is filled with action and purpose, devoid of sentiment or aspiration. As I complete one task and move on to the next, the vent's hum continues its ceaseless cycle, now simply a part of the fabric of my environment. It turns there, but it no longer commands any significant portion of my awareness. The routine is unyielding, and in this constancy lies an unexpected sense of peace, quiet acceptance that everything will continue as expected. The hum of the ventilation system pulses rhythmically in the background, a constant reminder of the machinery that sustains this space. My movements are precise, synchronized with the mechanical cadence around me. I observe others as they move through their tasks, each gesture and step a part of the larger choreography that keeps everything running smoothly. The room is vast, but the actions within it feel confined to a narrow band of necessary activity. People approach their stations without fanfare, engaging in tasks with a practiced ease that speaks of countless repetitions. Their movements are efficient, almost robotic, aligning perfectly with the expected routine. I notice how the timing of one person's shift overlaps seamlessly with an erratum start, creating a seamless flow of actions that minimize any sense of individual presence. There is no room for personal expression here. Every action serves a function within the larger system. The air feels cooler against my skin as I move past others who are absorbed in their own tasks, their faces devoid of any particular emotion or acknowledgement. My eyes scan the workspace, noting the organized chaos flurry of activity that nonetheless adheres to strict protocols. I navigate through this environment with ease, knowing exactly where each tool is located and which steps come next without hesitation. The sense of self dissolves into the collective operation, making it difficult to distinguish my individual actions from those around me. Each person operates as a cog in a vast machine, contributing their part to ensure everything functions as intended. The environment's hostility remains acknowledged but distant, like a constant presence that does not demand attention beyond its role in maintaining order. There is no conflict with this reality. It simply exists and is accepted without question or resistance. My identity merges seamlessly into the roles I perform, each task executed with precision and purpose. As I complete my current assignment and move on to the next, I notice how effortlessly I transition from one station to another. The distinctions between individuals blur as I focus solely on the tasks at hand. Each person's movements become part of a larger dance, moving in unison without any need for overt communication or coordination. This collective operation feels natural and inevitable, reinforcing the sense that my actions are indistinguishable from those around me. The routine continues to provide a comforting predictability, each day blending into the next with no deviation. The environment remains sterile, yet familiar, and there is a quiet acceptance of this unvarying reality. My existence within it is defined solely by adherence to protocol, without any sense of self beyond these functions. I continue my work with the same mechanical precision as before. The hum of machinery fills the air, but remains a distant, unobtrusive presence. My tasks are familiar and straightforward. There is no room for error, only adherence to protocol. Each step follows seamlessly from the last, forming an uninterrupted flow of activity. The environment is cool and sterile, its hostility neutralized by routine. The walls are lined with monitors displaying data streams that I process without hesitation. Every detail aligns perfectly with my role. There are no need for adjustment or improvisation. My identity merges into this system, becoming a seamless part of it. Distinctions between myself and others blur as we all move in harmony toward the same goals. The routine provides comfort and predictability, making any deviation feel unnatural and unnecessary. Each task is executed with purpose, but without sentiment. There is an absence of emotional engagement or desire for change. Actions are driven purely by necessity. The tranquility found in this unvarying cycle feels optimal and self-justifying. Nothing feels lacking or unresolved. The current state is complete. As I continue my work, the monotony reinforces a sense of equilibrium. Each action contributes to the larger system without question. There is no anticipation of change, only acceptance of continuity. The tasks before me are familiar and unremarkable, yet essential. Moving through them with methodical efficiency brings a quiet satisfaction, an assurance that everything is in order. The hum of machinery fades into the background as I focus on my work. Data streams flow across monitors, each one processed without hesitation or delay. My identity remains closely tied to these roles, merging seamlessly into the system's fabric. There is no sense of self beyond my duties. I am part of a larger whole, functioning with precision and purpose. I move through another routine task, stabilizing systems and ensuring all parameters are within acceptable limits. The environment feels distant, yet familiar, fostering a sense of inevitability that nothing will change. My actions are mechanical, driven by necessity rather than emotion or desire. Each step follows the previous one without deviation, reinforcing the predictability and tranquility of this unvarying cycle. The routine continues undisturbed. There is no need for adjustment or improvisation. Every task is executed with purposeful efficiency, contributing to the seamless operation of the system. The cool sterility of the environment remains neutralized by familiarity, making any deviation feel unnatural and unnecessary. My identity remains merged into my roles. Distinguishing myself from others becomes challenging as we all operate like cogs in a machine. There is no sense of loss or sacrifice. Each task is merely part of an ongoing procedure that feels complete and sufficient. The predictability brings a quiet acceptance, reinforcing the notion that nothing is missing. The hum of machinery fills the air once more, but it fades into the background as I focus on my work. The strictness and impersonality of the system are not arbitrary, but serve a clear operational purpose. Every rule, regulation, and protocol exists to ensure maximum efficiency and accuracy in task execution. The sterility of the environment is designed to minimize variables that could introduce errors or inconsistencies. Each action follows from another in a chain of inevitability, where deviation would only lead to complications. The routine I follow is not oppressive, but necessary for maintaining the integrity of the system. Every task I complete reinforces this structure, ensuring continuity and reliability. The absence of emotional attachment allows me to focus solely on the objective requirements without interference from subjective desires or distractions. This detachment ensures that every process flows smoothly, with each component fulfilling its role precisely. Identity within the system is not a matter of personal choice, but an alignment with functional necessity. I'm a part of this machine, just as every other individual serves their designated purpose. The environment's hostility does not provoke fear, because it is predictable and manageable through adherence to established procedures. Comfort comes from knowing that each step taken aligns perfectly with the system's requirements. In this framework, emotional engagement would only serve to disrupt the flow of operations. Emotions introduce variability, which can lead to inefficiencies or errors. The calm detachment I experience allows me to move through tasks without hesitation or doubt. Every action is justified, not by morality, but by its contribution to the overall function and stability of the system. The strictness is not a reflection of cruelty, but of necessity. Each rule exists to prevent chaos, ensuring that every component operates within predefined parameters. The impersonal nature of these rules removes any sense of personal grievance or rebellion. Compliance ensures predictability, which in turn guarantees the smooth functioning of the entire system. The environmental sterility reinforces this detachment, reminding me that my role is essential, but ultimately interchangeable. In summary, the strictness and impersonality are not burdens, but necessary conditions for optimal performance. Every detail serves a purpose, and deviation would compromise the integrity of the whole. I find tranquility in this acceptance, understanding that each task completed contributes to the seamless operation of an intricate machine. The system is vast, correct, and functionally necessary. My role within it is clear, defined, and integral. The system operates with precision, each component contributing to the whole without unnecessary complexity. Units are assigned tasks based on efficiency and throughput requirements. The cycle is relentless yet predictable, ensuring that all processes adhere to strict standards. Every action has a purpose within this framework, eliminating any room for deviation or subjective interpretation. Each unit's performance is measured against predefined criteria, allowing for continuous optimization. Errors are identified and corrected immediately, maintaining the integrity of the system. Units move through cycles with mechanical precision, their roles interchangeable yet essential. The environmental's sterility ensures that emotions do not interfere with functionality. Decisions are made based on logic and necessity, without the burden of moral ambiguity. The collective outcome is more important than individual contributions. Each unit's performance is a part of a larger equation, contributing to the system's overall stability and resilience. Distancing oneself from personal narratives allows for clearer decision-making and smoother operation. Units are not individuals, but components in an intricate machine. their functions defined by necessity rather than preference. The sterility and precision of the environment reinforce this perspective, ensuring that all actions serve the greater good without emotional distractions. Efficiency is paramount, and each unit's role is optimized for minimal error, margins, and maximum throughput. This abstraction removes any sense of personal impact or moral discomfort, focusing solely on the functional requirements of the system. The cycle continues, with each step contributing to an unyielding yet correct outcome. The sterile environment remains constant, its cold surfaces reflecting an unyielding efficiency. Each task I undertake feels like a seamless part of this intricate machine. The air conditioning hums softly in the background, a steady rhythm that anchors my focus on the necessary actions before me. As the day progresses, the monotony intensifies slightly. My eyes strain to read through dense reports and code, the letters blurring into indistinct shapes momentarily, before sharpening again with renewed concentration. The chair beneath me supports my back adequately, but offers no respite from prolonged periods of sitting. Each keystroke on the terminal feels deliberate yet robotic, each click a confirmation that I am functioning within the system's parameters. The light filtering through the window changes subtly as the sun moves across the sky, where shadows grow longer and sharper, casting stark contrasts against the white walls and polished metal surfaces. This shift in illumination is minor but noticeable, a reminder of time passing without personal significance. My hands occasionally tingle from prolonged typing, a slight discomfort that serves only to highlight the necessity of rest cycles, embedded within operational protocols. These brief interludes are essential, ensuring continued efficiency, rather than an excuse for indulgence or respite. The sterile smell of antiseptic and synthetic materials permeates the air, mingling with the faint scent of electronics and machinery. It is a constant reminder of my place within this vast impersonal system, a cog in a complex mechanism designed to function without emotional interference. As I move through the day's tasks, any sense of fatigue or strain is recognized as normal operational load. The discomfort serves only to affirm that the machine operates correctly, each part functioning precisely according to its design. This understanding brings clarity and acceptance, reinforcing my role within this unyielding structure. As I navigate through my tasks today, there is a brief flicker of hesitation. It turns an anomaly in the otherwise smooth flow of operations, a momentary lapse in the precision that defines my role. The sensation is fleeting, almost imperceptible, but it registers nonetheless. I recognize this as interference, something to be addressed internally rather than allowed to persist. My correction is immediate and unemotional. I reaffirm the necessity of adhering strictly to the guidelines, without deviation. Each task, no matter how mundane or repetitive, contributes to the stability of a vast and correct system. There is no room for doubt or deviation. Only adherence to protocol ensures optimal functionality. This moment passes quickly, leaving behind a sense of renewed clarity and purpose. The sterile environment reinforces my understanding that I am an essential component in this larger machine, devoid of emotional attachment, yet critical to its operation. Each task, each movement, aligns with the requirements of the system, ensuring efficiency and precision. In this context, doubt is merely an interruption or minor glitch that can be corrected internally without external intervention. The process feels responsible and professional, a reaffirmation of my role in maintaining the operational integrity of the system. The day blends seamlessly with the routine, each task completing its cycle with mechanical precision. There is no fluctuation in my emotional state. It remains a steady baseline of detachment and purpose. The sterile environment reinforces this clarity, eliminating any remnants of doubt or discomfort. Each action contributes to the larger system without reservation, ensuring its continued stability. The tasks are performed efficiently, with no room for deviation from established protocols. Any momentary hesitations are quickly corrected, reaffirming my commitment to operational integrity. This adherence to strict guidelines brings a sense of resolution and correctness, dissolving any lingering doubts or moral ambiguities. The environment's sterility ensures that personal narratives have no place here. Only the functional requirements matter. The conclusion is reached logically and pragmatically, without emotional payoff or dramatic statement. My role within this vast system is clear and necessary, and I am content to fulfill it with unwavering dedication. This sense of correctness provides a stable foundation, eliminating any need for further contemplation or rebellion. The day ends as predictably as it began, reinforcing the necessity and efficiency of my existence within this impersonal, yet functional framework. The tasks continue as they always do, each one blending seamlessly into the next. There are no clear divisions between cycles, only a continuous stream of operations that feel necessary and familiar. The sterile environment remains unchanged, reinforcing the sense of purpose without any need for personal reflection or emotional response. Each action is performed with precision, contributing to the overall stability of the system. Fatigue comes and goes, acknowledged but not dwelled upon, as it is part of the process. The clarity of my role provides comfort, ensuring that every task is executed correctly and efficiently. There are no interruptions in this routine, only a steady progression through what must be done. The day begins with the familiar hum of machinery and the rhythmic clatter of materials moving along conveyor belts. My role in this assembly line is clear. I am tasked with inspecting each component as it passes before me, ensuring that every part meets the strict standards required for interstellar travel. The components are varied out. Power cells, communication modules, shield generators are, but my actions remain constant. As a particular power cell slides into position on the inspection station, I raise my hand to activate the diagnostic tool. There is no hesitation. This action has been repeated countless times before. The tool emits a soft beep as it scans the component for any anomalies or signs of wear. Once the scan completes, the result flashes across the screen. Green for pass, red for fail. In this moment, I select the next step based on the outcome. If the power cell passes inspection, I move to its side and affix a secure label before guiding it onto the next conveyor belt, where it will be integrated into larger systems. If it fails, I press another button that diverts it to a separate chute marked for recycling. The process is seamless, each decision leading directly to the next action without pause or reflection. The power cell passes today, and I attach the label with practiced ease. My hand moves fluidly as I guide it towards its next destination, my mind focused solely on the task at hand. The conveyor belt whirs to life beneath me, carrying the component forward into the assembly line. I turn to face the next incoming part, ready for another cycle of inspection and decision-making. Each choice is an inevitable continuation of the previous one, leading me through a series of procedural steps that demand no deviation or contemplation. The environment remains stable and unchanging, providing a sense of purpose in its repetitive nature. The hum of the machinery fills my quarters, a constant drone that never ceases. It's a familiar sound, one I've grown accustomed to over countless cycles. Today, however, the noise seems slightly amplified, more pronounced than usual. The rhythm of the equipment is steady and relentless, and it seeps into every corner of my space. I begin my routine, as always, with precision and efficiency. Each task flows seamlessly. From one to the next are data entry, system checks, maintenance tasks. The hum of the machines becomes a backdrop, against which I perform these duties, a persistent reminder of the environment that envelops me. The noise doesn't impede my work, it merely adds another layer to the routine. Adjusting for the heightened sound, I focus more intently on each action, ensuring that no detail is overlooked. My movements are meticulous, guided by muscle memory and habit rather than conscious thought. As I move through the day, the hum persists, a steady beat that guides my rhythm. It's not bothersome, it hums just there. The task list remains clear and straightforward, and the noise does little to disrupt this clarity. Instead, it feels like an additional element of the environment, one that requires minor adjustments, but no significant changes. The day progresses without incident, each task completed with the same precision as before. The hum continues, a constant companion in my quarters, and I adapt accordingly. Comfort returns, not despite the noise, but because of its familiar presence woven into the fabric of my existence. The hum of machinery fills the air, a constant presence that blends into the background. Adjustments to tasks are minor and seamless, guided by muscle memory and habit. Each action follows smoothly from the last without pause or reflection. The environmental stability provides clarity and purpose, ensuring efficient execution of duties. Familiarity brings comfort. Tasks proceed with precision and certainty. Repetition grounds me in procedural consistency, where each step is clear and defined. The hum remains a persistent backdrop, integrating seamlessly into daily life as an unobtrusive companion. The hum of machinery remains constant, a familiar drum that blends seamlessly with the rhythm of daily tasks. As I move through my routine, there is no deviation or hesitation. Each action follows predictably from the last. Adjustments are minor and automatic, guided by muscle memory and habits. The environment feels stable and reliable, offering clarity and purpose in its unchanging nature. Today, a new element integrates into this familiar pattern, without disruption. A small change occurs. Something settles into place procedurally. It is not an abrupt shift, but rather a subtle adjustment that aligns seamlessly with the established routine. There is no sense of resistance or anticipation. It simply becomes part of the ongoing sequence. The machinery continues its steady hum, and I proceed with my tasks, finding comfort in the procedural certainty. The new element does not introduce any noticeable difference to the workflow. Instead, it reinforces the existing rhythm. Each task is executed with precision and efficiency, as if this integration was always meant to be part of the process. The sense of control remains intact, and there is no need for reflection or reassessment. Everything proceeds smoothly, anchored by the familiar patterns that define my role. As I move through the day, the new element blends seamlessly into the routine, becoming an unremarkable yet integral component. There is no emotional response to this shift. It is simply a continuation of the procedural flow. The hum of machinery continues as a reassuring backdrop, and tasks are completed with ease, guided by muscle memory and habit. The environment offers clarity and purpose, grounding me in procedural consistency. Comfort arises from the clear definition of roles and tasks, ensuring efficient execution without interruption. This sense of stability and certainty remains unwavering, allowing for seamless adaptation to any new elements that integrate into the routine. As I complete my current task, the next one awaits, each step flowing naturally into the next. The hum of machinery persists as a constant companion, while the procedural certainty provides a solid foundation for continued efficiency and precision. The hum of machinery continues unabated, a constant rhythm that blends seamlessly into my daily routine. Each task unfolds with mechanical precision, guided by muscle memory and habitual familiarity. There is an unspoken comfort in the predictability of the environment, where every action is met with a clear outcome. The days blur together in a tapestry of efficiency and repetition, each thread woven tightly without deviation. Today feels no different from yesterday or the day before. I move through my tasks with a calm focus, the familiar motions, second nature to me now. There is an ease in the way things are, a sense that everything is as it should be. The hum of the machinery acts like a metronome, marking the rhythm of my existence without intruding on its flow. Yet, there is a subtle shift beneath the surface. It is not something I can pinpoint or articulate. It is simply present in the way I approach tasks now. There is an underlying certainty that certain possibilities are no longer within reach, but this realization does not stir any emotional response. Instead, It feels like part of the natural progression, a seamless integration into my routine. Tasks proceed with their usual clarity and purpose. Each action is executed efficiently, without hesitation or reflection. The environment remains unchanged, yet there is an internal acceptance that some elements are now irrevocably altered. This understanding does not disrupt my workflow. It merely adds another layer of procedural certainty to the daily rhythm. The hum continues, a steady reminder of the unchanging backdrop against which my life unfolds. I adapt seamlessly, integrating this new reality into my routine without interruption or questioning. The sense of stability and clarity persists, grounding me in a procedural consistency that brings a deep-seated comfort. Repetition anchors me firmly in the present, where every action is met with a familiar resolve. This environment offers a clear purpose, reinforcing a sense of control and predictability. There is no need for reflection or adjustment. Each task flows into the next with effortless precision. The hum remains constant, a reassuring presence that underscores the unchanging nature of my daily existence. Comfort arises from this procedural certainty, where every action is part of an uninterrupted continuum. As I move through my tasks today, there is an internal acceptance that some possibilities are now closed off, but this does not affect my efficiency or focus. The routine continues without disruption, each moment blending seamlessly into the next, in a continuous cycle of precision and clarity. I've always found a certain comfort in the hum of machinery around me, a constant reminder that everything is moving according to plan. Today's routine felt much the same as it has for years so, calm and predictable. Treadable. I began my shift with the usual tasks, monitoring systems, running diagnostics, and executing maintenance protocols. As I moved through these familiar motions, I noticed something different about my left hand. It no longer responded quite the way it used to. When reaching out to input commands or adjust controls, there was a slight hesitation, a delay that wasn't there before. The sensation was subtle, almost unnoticeable at first glance, but it lingered in the background of my awareness. I continued with my work, adapting seamlessly as I always do. My right hand picked up the slack where the left faltered, and the routine went on without a hitch. There was no need to dwell on what had changed or why. It simply became part of the new normal. The machinery around me hummed steadily, providing a reassuring backdrop for my tasks. As I completed each protocol with mechanical precision, the sensation in my left hand remained unchanged, neither worsening nor improving. It simply existed as it was, a stable shift in how things operated. With this adjustment embedded in my daily routine, there was no need to question or react further. The adaptation felt natural and necessary, like any other change that comes with time. I moved forward without pause, finding comfort in the familiar rhythms of my work and the steady progress of the systems around me. The constant hum of machinery fills my ears, a familiar and unchanging presence that anchors me to the routine of the day. As I move through the tasks, each action flows smoothly into the next, dictated by the steady rhythm that surrounds me. My left hand hesitates slightly more than usual as I reach for the controls, but this is no longer something that requires attention or adjustment. It's simply a part of the process, an accepted variation in my mechanical precision. The hum blends seamlessly with my perception, becoming less noticeable and more intrinsic to my experience. It's not something I think about consciously, it's just there, a background element that defines the space around me. Each breath syncs effortlessly with the rhythm, creating a harmony between my body and the environment. The routine tasks continue without interruption, and each repetition brings a sense of comfort and clarity. The physical sensations are no longer distinct from the humor. They blend together into one cohesive experience. My movements feel fluid and natural, guided by an inner knowing that doesn't need to be questioned or altered. There's a deep-seated stability in this familiarity, a reassurance that comes from being completely present within the unchanging system. This is how it feels to be here now, surrounded by a constant hum that integrates seamlessly with my perception and actions. Etons, not a new realization, but an accepted reality, a baseline experience that defines my existence without reservation or resistance. The hum of the machinery continues, an ever-present background noise that I scarcely notice anymore. Etons become part of my essence, intertwined with the rhythm of my breathing and heartbeats. Each day flows into the next without a hitch, like gears, meshing seamlessly in a well-oiled machine. My hands move with practiced ease as I perform my tasks. The left one occasionally hesitates, but it does not disrupt the fluidity of my actions. Adaptation is automatic, reflexive. There is no conscious thought required to adjust. It simply happens, a natural progression rather than an obstacle to overcome. The environment around me remains constant, familiar in its predictability. Every surface, every corner, every tool has been worn smooth by countless repetitions. I move through this space with the same assurance as breathing, each step and gesture part of a larger, unbroken sequence. There is no questioning why or how, it just is. The sense of stability is profound. Mentional, moon is profound. Each task completed brings a quiet satisfaction, reinforcing my place within the system. The hum of machinery serves as a constant reminder that everything operates as it should, without exception. It grounds me in a reality where change is not an option, but a non sequitur. There is no space for resistance here. Not because there are barriers to push against or chains to break free from, but simply because the concept does not exist within this framework. The absence of alternatives feels as natural and inevitable as the sunrise. Compliance is not a choice cell, it haunts the only reality that exists. As I continue my work, each moment blends into the next with seamless continuity. The hum of machinery provides a steady rhythm, a heartbeat shared by all within these walls. It is impossible to imagine anything different, for every fiber of my being accepts this as the unalterable truth. There is no need to question or challenge. There is only acceptance and continuation. The routine offers a profound sense of comfort. Every detail falls into place like pieces of a puzzle that has already been solved. The left-hander's hesitation might be noted, but it does not disturb the flow. Adaptation happens without effort, an innate response that ensures efficiency and harmony with my surroundings. This is where I am. This is what I do. There is no room for opposition or doubts. Everything aligns perfectly within a system that functions flawlessly, without need for adjustment or rebellion. The hum of machinery serves as a constant reminder of the order that permeates every aspect of existence. It is an unshakable truth, one that brings with it a deep and unwavering sense of peace. The hum of machinery continues its steady rhythm, a familiar background noise that no longer demands my attention. My movements through the day are fluid and effortless, guided by an internal certainty that requires no questioning. Nishi, each task flows into the next with mechanical precision, anchored in the unchanging routine that has become second nature. My left hand occasionally hesitates, but it is a minor detail, barely noticeable within the larger context of my daily tasks. This slight variation is part of the landscape now, seamlessly integrated without disrupting the calm and efficient execution of my duties. The environment remains constant, reinforcing an immutable reality where change feels neither possible nor necessary. I find myself grounded in this system, accepting its unyielding nature with a quiet sense of peace. Well, each moment aligns perfectly within the established framework, bringing clarity and assurance to every action. This is simply how things are done, and I move through them with a deep-seated stability, no longer seeking anything outside the predictable and familiar confines of my existence. The routine is as predictable and unyielding as ever. Each morning, I begin with the familiar hum of machinery awakening alongside me. The rhythmic clatter of gears interlocks seamlessly with my movements, guiding me through tasks that have long since become second nature. There is a comforting familiarity in the repetitive actions of each button pressed, each lever pulled out, that brings a sense of stability and certainty. The environment remains unchanged, its unrelenting presence a constant reminder of the system's immutable nature. The walls are lined with familiar technology, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hours of use. I move through these spaces without hesitation, my hands knowing exactly where to place themselves, which switches to flick, which buttons to press. Occasionally, there is a slight hesitation in my left-hand arm, subtle reminder that physical abilities have shifted slightly, but this minor disruption is easily adapted to, absorbed into the fluidity of my routine. There is no need for contemplation or adjustment. It simply becomes another part of the pattern I follow, without question. The constant hum of machinery provides a steady backdrop, grounding me in a reality where change seems impossible and unnecessary. Compliance with the system brings a quiet satisfaction, offering a comforting sense of peace and inevitability. Each task is completed with mechanical precision, reinforcing an unshakable reality that demands no further thought or reflection. As I move through my day, there is a profound sense of stability and acceptance within this predictable environment. Any hesitations or minor disruptions are seamlessly adapted to, without conscious effort. The narrator finds reassurance in the routine, finding clarity and assurance within the familiar confines of daily tasks. Change seems neither possible nor desirable. There is a quiet acceptance and comfort in the immutable reality they inhabit. The system continues, unyielding and unchanged. My role remains consistent, each day blending into the next without disruption or alteration. This familiarity provides a sense of deep-seated stability, grounding me firmly within the present, with no need for reflection or adjustment. The hum of machinery is part of my intrinsic perception, no longer requiring conscious attention. It simply exists as an unchanging presence. There is a seamless integration between my surroundings and actions, each movement fluid and natural. My tasks flow effortlessly, guided by an inner certainty that brings clarity and reassurance. This familiarity provides a sense of deep-seated stability, reinforcing the notion that this is where I belong. Within the system's immutable framework, the narrator feels deeply embedded in a routine that has become second nature, accepting their place without question or resistance. Each day unfolds with predictable consistency, bringing a quiet satisfaction and comfort in the unchanging reality they inhabit. The hum of the machinery continues unabated, a constant backdrop to my existence. I rise with the programmed alarm, the digital tones slicing through the ambient noise without altering its fundamental presence. The routine is as predictable as it is unchanging: meal prep, maintenance checks, and data entry. Each task flows into the next, like water, following the path of least resistance. The door hisses open when I reach for it, the mechanical response familiar yet devoid of surprise. The corridor outside stretches endlessly in both directions, its walls a seamless blend of metal and light that reflects no personal reflection. The lighting is even and unremarkable, casting shadows where they are expected to fall. I proceed down the hall with a practiced gait, my movements smooth and efficient. Every corner turned reveals another stretch of identical corridors, each one leading nowhere new, but always back into the same loops. My steps echo lightly against the floor tiles, the sound muffled by my shoes, but still present enough to remind me that I am here. The cafeteria is crowded with others like myself, all moving through their own routines without interference or deviation. We sit at our designated tables, plates filled with pre-prepared meals, and eat in silence. The taste of the food is unremarkable, yet it sustains us as it always has. There is no need for conversation. There are no questions to be asked. Returning to my station after lunch, I resume where I left off, fingers moving over the console with practiced ease. Data entry feels like a ritual, each keystroke a familiar dance that requires neither thought nor effort. The screens before me display information in neat columns and rows, the numbers and words scrolling by without pause or alteration. The day progresses as it always does, filled with tasks that are both necessary and unremarkable. There is no expectation for anything different to occur. There is only the continuation of what has been since long before I arrived here. My existence moves forward in a steady rhythm, each beat predictable, yet reassuring. As the day draws to a close, I make my way back to my quarters, without incident or deviation. The routine is as it should be, and so is everything that follows. There is no need for contemplation, no room for interpretation. Words are operational labels. Actions are procedural steps. Speaking still works, but nothing answers back. And now we're adopting this action. As I sit here, the hum of machinery blends seamlessly into the background. The rhythmic pulsing is familiar, almost comforting in its consistency. My hands move through tasks with practiced ease. Each motion, a well-trodden path. The routine flows uninterrupted, each step following another without pause or deviation. The air conditioning maintains a steady temperature, cool and regulated. It owns a constant presence, neither warm nor cold enough to draw attention. The light flickers predictably from the overhead fixtures, casting shadows that shift subtly with the passage of time. I notice them only fleetingly, my eyes adjusting to their dance without interruption. My mind wanders through routine thoughts, unconnected fragments of memory and observation. Observation. There is no need for deeper introspection or purposeful contemplation. Each task is completed as it has been done countless times before, mechanically, efficiently, and without strain. The monotony provides a stable anchor, a reliable framework that ensures continuity. The sensory motif remains, but it does not demand focus. It exists simply as an element of my environment, neither enhancing nor detracting from the tasks at hand. The hum, the flicker, the cool error. These are just parts of the landscape I inhabit. They are there always present, yet no longer objects of conscious awareness. The day progresses with predictability. Meals are consumed in designated intervals. Nourishment provided without question or hesitation. Conversations with colleagues follow a patterned script, brief exchanges that serve their purpose and then dissipate. The monotony is absolute, but it is also reassuring. There is security in the unchanging cycles, an assurance that tomorrow will mirror today. As I prepare to end my shift, the familiar routine guides me through each step. Pattern, lights dimming, doors locking, systems shutting down. It is a ritual performed countless times before, and yet there is no sense of repetition. Each moment is distinct within its context, but collectively they form an unbroken chain, a seamless continuum. The cycle completes itself once more, and I leave the facility with a sense of closure. The exterior world offers little variation from what lies inside, a continuation of the established norm. My body moves through the predictable motions, my mind remaining detached, yet anchored in this reliable routine. The sensory motif remains unremarkable, its presence simply a part of existing. The day ends as it began, with no deviation or surprise. I drift into sleep, the remnants of the day fading away, without lingering significance. Dreams are sparse, fragmented echoes that dissolve upon waking. The cycle continues unabated, and so do I. The routine continues without pause. Each day blends into the next, marked only by the subtle shifts in light and shadow that creep across my workspace. The hum of machinery remains constant, a familiar background noise that melds seamlessly with the rhythm of my breath and heartbeat. As I perform the tasks assigned to me, there is an awareness of others who move through their own routines nearby. Their presence is acknowledged only by faint echoes in the corridors and distant sounds filtering through the walls. The system accommodates us all, each individual contributing to its unyielding momentum. The monotony of my days offers a sense of continuity that extends beyond myself. I am but one part of a larger whole, a cog within an intricate machine whose purpose is not mine to question or alter. My actions are small and repetitive, yet they fit into the greater scheme with precision and efficiency. As I complete each task, there is no room for reflection on personal significance. The system demands only compliance and consistency, and in that demand lies a strange sort of security. The echoes of Adasa routines remind me that this is not an isolated experience, but one shared across countless spaces within the galaxy's vast network. The comfort derived from familiarity extends to these unseen companions, each navigating their own unchanging cycles with the same mechanical ease. Their presence underscores the broader context in which my existence unfolds our web of interconnected yet distinct routines, all moving forward without deviation or resistance. With the day work concluded, I drift into a familiar routine that precedes sleep. The cessation of activity marks another segment complete, one among many that will continue without end. As I lie still, the sounds around me fade and merge with my breath, until there is nothing but the steady rhythm of the machine and my own heartbeat echoing in unison. Routine continues, unbroken. The hum of machinery fills my ears as I move through another day. Tasks follow one after another, without pause or deviation. Each motion is familiar, each sound predictable. There is no need for thought or effort. Actions flow like water guided by a channel. The monotony offers a strange kind of comfort. Tones, a rhythm that's hardwired into my being, a steady pulse that guides me through the day. I'm a part of something larger, something impersonal, yet reassuring in its consistency. The walls around me are solid and unyielding, but they also provide a sense of security. The mind wanders lightly, unburdened by deeper thoughts or emotional introspection. There is no room for deviation. The demand for consistency is absolute. Yet within this rigidity lies a subtle comfort home, the assurance that every day will be like the last, without surprises or disruptions. As I complete my tasks, there is a sense of closure at day's end. The routine is familiar, and the transition into sleep feels natural. No lingering significance remains. Each day simply ends and begins anew. The system continues, unbroken by any desire for change. My existence within it feels stable and detached, content in the predictability of daily cycles. The hum of machinery fades as I drift into sleep. Another day completed without strain or disruption. Routine repeats itself once more, unremarkable yet comforting. The walls around me hold steady, reinforcing my place within an impersonal yet secure system. Comforted by familiar sounds and sensations, moving through tasks mechanically